Hello, my name is Kylie Gardner, and this is my entrepreneur interview with.
Joe Gardner. I'm president and founder of PowerStream Technologies. We've been in business for 23 years.
So, my first question for you is how did you know that you had the right idea to start a business?
Well, I've been in the business, the textile business, working for other companies for quite some time, but there wasn't a single company that was providing support not only for equipment, but also for the process of using the equipment, especially as it relates to other people's equipment. So, consequently, just saw an opportunity there to provide that kind of service and support so that it was a holistic solution, if you will, from the standpoint that a customer could bring an entity in like me, and we could not only set up their equipment, other people's equipment, but also show them how to run it, operate it, and then make them self-sustaining going forward.
Awesome. And how did you handle adversity and doubt from friends and family?
Well, there's always that adversity and doubt from friends and family, and that's something you really got to be concerned with, especially if it affects your ability to execute in a way that you're comfortable. And being comfortable, part of it is the team of your family being on board with it. So basically, I saw it as really a challenge to show them through results that their doubts and the doubts that they were communicating were valued. But by the same token, it fueled me to show them through results that they were unfounded.
Awesome. And did you start out with any kind of resources, maybe knowledge or reputation, networking, any kind of access to resources?
Yes, in my particular case, again, opportunities have a shelf life, very short shelf life. One of the companies I was working with had some leadership issues and consequently went Chapter 11. So I had at that time the opportunity to not only pick up that company's assets, but also I had a significant uh, network of clients with a proven track record of success that were looking for my services to begin with. So not only did I have a captured set of customers, but I also had the necessary infrastructure in regards to equipment, software, hardware wise, to be able to meet those customers' needs.
Okay. And what are some mistakes that you might have made that you think I could learn from when starting my own business?
Well, I think one of the things that was difficult for me was balance. Once I had started this company, you naturally feel that the harder you work, the more hours you put in, the more results you're going to generate. And there's a certain level of truth to that, but it does have diminishing returns, especially as it impacts the balance side of it, family, friends, etc. Because moderation is the key to success in the long run. So jumping into it and putting everything into it at the cost of everything else is a danger for a lot of people that are entrepreneurs and trying to start a business. So I think that's a clear mistake to make. You really got to have enough discipline to limit the amount of time you're going to invest in the business so that you ensure that you're investing the appropriate amount of time with your family and friends.
I think that's a beautiful answer. Are there any things, what are four things specifically that you maybe wish someone had told you before you became an entrepreneur?
If someone was to tell me the amount of work, it's a huge amount of work. It's a lot of work to do that because you're not only so to speak, turn in wrenches, but you also have to maintain your books, your general ledger, state reports. A whole number of things go with being a business owner or an entrepreneur. It's not just success, work, and success. So the amount of work that you got to put in is, I really didn't have a concept of that going in the start. And also perfection. Perfection is the enemy of done. Trying to make everything perfect. In many cases, you don't even start because you're too busy planning, and you end up investing so much time hunting for perfection that you're never able to execute. So it's really important to that you have a good understanding of good enough. Get it out there and then you can incrementally improve whatever you're doing so that you can evolve it in a way that you're still generating value to the customers. Um, also, lots of people want to partner with you, especially if you're successful, and they want to invest. Make sure you read the small print because there's nobody out there that wants to invest or partner with you, well, without them being the one that are going to be at the get the better end of the deal. So you really got to pay attention to that because it is a business; it's not a friendship. Um, and don't discount the value of bookkeeping, general ledger, finances, etc. If you source it out, which typically you have to do, to maybe an accounting firm, etc., pay close attention to it always because if you don't know how to run a business, you can't. Doesn't matter how technically savvy you are, you won't be able to be a successful business operator.
Beautiful. What characteristics or skills do you think are the most important for an entrepreneur to have before starting a business?
I think perseverance, flexibility, and a mad amount of planning. You really have to plan. You just can't go out there half cocked. You have to have a plan and you have to have the discipline to execute to that plan. When things are well and good, you always want to do more and you got to limit yourself from doing things like that. Stick to the scope, execute to the scope, better quality to a customer makes you feel like you're giving them more value, but better quality costs. And you don't want to give your money away, which means you don't want to give quality away, which means you don't want to give your time away. So you got to be very greedy with and pay attention to those kinds of things. Let's see what else. How do you balance? Well, balance of home and work life. I think moderation is the key to everything as it relates to that. So again, it's kind of a common theme.
Okay. And what kind of things drive you to keep going when it's really tough?
I think confidence in the value of the service you're supplying, knowing that you're supplying a good product, something that nobody else can do, and certainly something that nobody else can do that's as good as you. I think that's one thing that keeps you going and gives you a sense of accomplishment and self value. And I think value of your mission and what you're trying to do, because at the end of the day, you're trying to create a value to yourself. That value to yourself is to make money and to provide the security to your family.
Okay. And are you pretty happy with your business? And is there anything that you would want to change?
Uh, Very happy with the business. If I could live longer and keep going and never have to retire, I think that would be neat. But no, I don't think there's really anything that I would change. I think hindsight is 2020, and saying that there were things that I could have done better. But the decisions that you make 5 years ago are based on the information you had at the time to make that informed decision. So either way, you can't regret the decisions you make, and therefore they are what they are, and you got to move forward with that. So I don't think there's anything I would change other than the route that we took.
Well, I think that's a great answer, and I think that's some really good advice. If you could narrow your success down to one thing, what would you say that would be?
Persistence. Just keep going when you fail at one. Um, Make sure you're ready to start on the next thing and the next thing. And in many cases, having two or three or four things that you can do well and that you're out there executing on is more important than having 10 that you can't do well or manage well, or having one that you're putting all your eggs in one basket. So it's always good to have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you telling me all about your business and all of your great advice that you've had. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you.